Hey kids, Mr. Flyer here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another bike review. This time, I'm on a motorcycle that I've been waiting to ride for a very long time. Because today, as you would have seen from the thumbnail, I'm on the brand new for 2025 Yamaha R9. Potentially a sports bike for normal people. Well, hello again folks, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to motorcycle riding in the southeast of England, complete with white vans on the road. Hey ho, never mind. So this bike, the Yamaha R9 then, it's been a long time coming, hasn't it? Ever since Yamaha introduced the MT-09 with its now famous CP3 triple engine. Everybody's been longing, myself included, sort of a fed sports bike version. Now the MT-09, would you believe, first came out I think in 2014. It still seems to me like a relatively newly announced bike, but 11 years old already. Absolutely incredible. And it's taken that long for Yamaha to get around to putting that CP3 motor, which is critically acclaimed, it's an absolutely cracking engine, into a sports bike. Now of course the sports bike world has changed a bit in the last few years, hasn't it? It seems like the market no longer desires stupidly powerful machines, 200 horsepower plus, with all the skill that they demand and the contortion that they demand that you have to ride them on the road at least. Those have kind of been left for the purists, for the track gods. And now more and more manufacturers have decided to make sports bikes that are a little bit more accessible to us normal riders. So we've seen a lot, haven't we, in the last couple of years, things like the Aprilia RS 650, the Suzuki GSX-8R, the Triumph, Daytona, to name but a few. None of those though really compete in the same space as this. This I would put up against bikes more like the new Panigale V2, even though of course that's a twin and this is a triple. This I would say is a little bit more hairy than those other sort of soft sports bikes. So that's where I position it anyway. So I'm going to take it out for my first ride review on my normal test route to see how she does. And I think I'm right in saying I'm one of the first UK vloggers to get their hands on this and to actually ride it on the road. There's been plenty of people that have ridden it on track at the launch about a month ago, but I may be the first UK vlogger to officially get a press bike, so thank you Yamaha for getting it to me nice and early. Okay, so let's start off with riding position. Now I love sports bikes, me. I love the way they look, I love the way they sound, I love everything they represent. What I don't like is the comfort of the ride, or the lack of comfort I should say. Last sports bike I owned was my 899 Panigale, and whilst I think that was one of the best looking bikes ever made, my goodness me, it was one of the most uncomfortable to ride. This bike, Yamaha claim, is more comfortable. Hopefully you can see on the 360 camera the sort of riding position I'm in here. My legs are at an acute angle, as you'd expect. I am over the front wheel a little bit, but I have to say it's not hugely wristy. It doesn't feel like I've got loads of weight over the front wheel. I think the last sports bike I rode was probably the R7, the little brother of this, which I absolutely loved. And the R7 was relatively comfortable. I would say this is a little bit more extreme than that, but not as extreme as say my old 899. Put it between the two. Now I've got, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I've got dodgy shoulders, so sports bikes and me don't naturally meet at the moment, but I have to say this isn't too bad at all. I'm not saying I'd want to be on it for a couple of hours, but for an hour here and there, absolutely fine. So I'd say Yamaha are not lying when they say they've made it more accessible from a comfort point of view. It's quite roomy as well. It feels like a big bike. You can move around on the seat a lot. I'm only a short fella at 5'8", well, medium size I guess, but there's loads of room on here. If you're a taller fella, you'd definitely be able to fit on here absolutely fine. Handlebars are really wide as well for clip-ons. They're kind of slightly higher than clip-ons would normally be, and the fuel tank seems quite short. You're not lent over a very long fuel tank. In fact, the last sports bike I rode I think was the XSR, you know, the sort of retro sports bike, and that had a very long fuel tank and made that very, very uncomfortable to ride. Although that looked great, I found that one of the most uncomfortable bikes going. Didn't like that at all. I stick a link to that review in the corner if you want a reminder. This feels much better than that bike to ride. So yeah, I think they've got it about right from the comfort point of view. You're still definitely on a sports bike, but they've done quite a nice job on the ergos. Alright, let's just come down here, my favourite rattly, bumpy, hideous road for testing suspension, and see how this is set. Now normally I'll be rattling my teeth out on sports bikes down here, and this is actually pretty plush. Fully adjustable suspension. We'll go through the specs in the usual way shortly, but assuming this is as it comes from the factory, you know what, it's quite nice for the road. It's not as harsh as, say, a street triple RS, and it's not as forgiving as, say, an adventure bike. Again, kind of in the middle. Bit of a Goldilocks bike, just in the sweet zone. Alright, before we get to my handling road, maybe just show you over the bike. Take a look at this beast. And beast I reckon she is, because when you take a look at this bike, one of the things that immediately leaps out to you is this front end, where you've got these massive wings on the front. Now I don't know how effective they are on the road, but certainly on the track they're going to help you with some downforce, and they certainly look mean. Yamaha reckon this is the most aerodynamic or most aero efficient bike they've ever made, and I can't disbelieve them. I mean, it looks pretty slippery, doesn't it? It does look very nice indeed. Now, one of the things to point out on here is this new frame. This is the new Delta Box frame, completely different to the MT09, and yeah, contributes to the way that the bike handles, and we'll talk more about that on the ride in a minute. But yeah, overall I think she's a nice looking machine. I do like these headlights, these little eyebrow ones here. I think they look great. What I'm not so keen on is the big chunk cut out here and the light in the middle there. Now I love the way the R1 looks, for example, where it's got that completely smooth front end and some lights here. I think that looks better than this. I'm just not too sure about that spotlight on the front, but other than that I think it's a good looking bike. It comes in blue or black, and I prefer the blue, unfortunately, for me, having got the black one. The blue, the Yamaha blue, I think looks absolutely fantastic. Although this doesn't look too shabby, does it? Except maybe that underslung exhaust, which does look a bit shabby, and because it's there necessarily because of Euro 5 Plus and all that, means you haven't got a full fairing underneath the bike. Often on sports bikes the fairing would come all the way down there, wouldn't it? And I think it would look better if that were the case, but there you go. They have to work within the limits of that they have to work within. Coming around the other side, big old tail tidy that would need sorting out. Not sure about that back end, looks a bit upright for my liking. But yeah, overall, nice looking machine. It's got a bit of a whiff of Darth Vader about it, or an X-Wing fighter, I think, in the black. Anyway, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Okay, welcome back aboard the new R9. A bike that certainly tickles my fancy from a looks point of view. As you saw, it's a beautiful thing. Right, this is my little handling spot. Wow, this handles beautifully. I love the MT09 down here, but this is one of those bikes you just have to think where you want to go, and the bike goes. Lovely response to that little twisty-ish section. Really nice. Quite bumpy down here, so the suspension's having to work hard. But yeah, really turns lovely, and that engine making that signature CP3 noise. It's got that amazing induction noise on here. Yamaha actually worked quite hard to make the induction sound good on here, and boy, it does. Let's give it a slight thrashing. Wow, this is an amazing engine, guys. They've tinkered with it such that the torque is pretty linear on here, and there's power everywhere as soon as you get on it. And the first time you open the throttle, I mean, I actually said out loud wow to myself, because it's got power everywhere. It's not one of those sports bikes that you have to wind up to 7,000-8,000 RPM before it comes alive. This is alive all the time, which to my mind makes it an absolutely fabulous road bike. Even in fourth gear you can wind on, there's still loads there. You can be quite sloppy with your gear changes. Talking of gear changes, got an amazing quick shifter on here, both up and down. Works beautifully, as you'd expect from a Yamaha. Right, just while I'm behind this Fiesta, nothing behind me, let's just check out these brakes. Got top-notch equipment on here. Brembo stylemas, let's give them a whirl. Oh! And nearly pull your teeth out. They really do stop you well. But it's a nice feeling from the braking. Yamaha for ages persisted in having their own brake calipers, didn't they? And they were fine, but often people would complain of them feeling a bit wooden. These, no, you've got a really nice bit of feel through there. Not wooden at all, they are top notch. And that is really reflected across the bike. The build quality, the sorts of kit that it's got on it, the electronics package are all absolutely top notch. This now is Yamaha's kind of flagship bike, if you like. Now that the R1's no longer in the sort of road lineup, it takes over from where that left off. I think I'm right in saying it's got the same electronics package as the R1. I won't even touch the surface of that on this ride, but you name the electronics, it's got it on here. Wow, it's fantastic around these corners. Man, it's really does bring the hooligan out on you. This windscreen does a remarkably good job of keeping the air flowing over you as well. Very, very nice from a wind protection point of view. Right, slow it down slightly. Right, while I'm enjoying this some more, let me take you through the spec on the bike. Right, numbers then, starting with the engine. This is that brilliant 890cc CP3 triple, straight from the MT-09, but adjusted for the way it delivers its torque. It puts out 117 brake horsepower and 93 newton meters of torque. Braking on the front, taken care of by dual 320mm discs with these Brembo stylemas. Also, I'm glad to see it has a Brembo master cylinder up the top there and braided lines, so top-notch brakes on this thing. And braking at the rear end, taken care of by this Nissin single pot caliper on a 220mm disc. Suspension on the front, 43mm forks with 120mm of travel, and as you can see they are adjustable for compression and rebound. Suspension at the rear taken care of by a KYB suspension. Here you can see the remote preload adjuster, 118mm of travel that gives you. Seat height on the bike is a fairly friendly 830mm. Sounds quite tall, but in fact it's very narrow at the waist, so it's quite easy to get your feet down even if you're not particularly tall. The weight of the R9 is 195 kilograms, including full fuel, i.e. it's very light. Tank capacity holds 14 litres, so you're going to be stopping quite often, I should imagine, for a refill, but then you ain't going to be riding it for long stints anyway. Electronics wise, this bike is absolutely laden. It's got the full suite of high-end electronics on this. Check out the website for full details, but it's got this 5-inch TFT. You can have MyRide connectivity if you want, up and down quick shifter, lean angle sensitive ABS and traction, slide control, brake control, 3 riding modes, 2 custom modes, track modes, power delivery modes, launch control, lift control. Check out the website for all the details. As I say, it's got everything. And last but by no means least, this splendid looking motorcycle will cost you £12,254 according to the website. So much for the numbers then. Let's carry on enjoying this bike, and I have to say, pretty much all the Yamahas I've ridden that had this engine in I've been a fan of. And given that engine is now over a decade old, it still feels absolutely fantastic. And it might be this might yet be its best incarnation. But it handles so well, this bike. I think it's not only is it to do with the aerodynamics that they've got built in the bike, but that new frame, something that's very different about the bike. The Delta Box frame that's on here separates it again from the MT-09, and it just feels beautiful in the handling department. You put it exactly where you want it. No wonder the guys on the press launch had such fun on the track on this. But it really does work as a road bike as well. If you enjoy spirited road riding, you're going to really love this. Wait till Chopsy gets his hands on one. Oh, it's handy, they put a little speedo up for me, look. Oh, it's telling me to slow down, better do that then. So let's just ride sensibly then for a moment. So look, here I'm 29 miles an hour, second gear, fueling absolutely beautiful. No jerkiness, no problem at all. You can ride all day long at slow speed on this. It's really, really nice. I do like what you're looking at here as well. Some sports bikes now, and I'm thinking Panigale V2, don't look that great when you're looking down here. The Panigale V2 has lost the lovely machined yoke that the Panigale I had, and it's now got a sort of a cast looking item. Well, I quite like this. This sort of has got that cast effect, but I like the way they've got the slots out, the triple clamp on the top here. It still looks technical and it looks quality. I like that. Switch gear on here is typical Yamaha these days. If you've ridden the MT-09 or any of those bikes, then you'll be familiar with the switch gear. It's got that slightly annoying indicator button on the left hand here, which you do get used to. It's not as bad as maybe I've made out in the past. And the other thing to note, this bike's even got cruise control. Look, fantastic. So if you did want to go touring on it, you possibly could. Now, I'm not saying I want to go touring on it with my dicky shoulder, but so far so good. My shoulders aren't hurting. If anything, it's my neck. So nice wind protection from this screen. I'm not getting buffeted at all at higher speeds, although I'm going low speed at the moment, officer. The mirrors work nice. They're nice and sturdily mounted. No vibration there. The sports bikes go. There's nothing that's leaping out at me that I don't like. TFT is nice, maybe a little bit small by today's standards, and it's angled slightly odd. It could be angled up slightly more. I was hoping it might be adjustable, but it doesn't seem to be. But again, that's just a minor gripe. I'm kind of clutching at straws to find things that I don't like. Right, quick whiz up here while it's clear. Really nice bike. Yeah, I think this is going to fly off the shelves. So if Yamaha were trying to target more normal riders like myself and making a bike that has got all the good things of a sports bike, but making it a bit more accessible on the road so you can enjoy the machine on the road, then I think they've absolutely hit the target spot on. Even riding around here in the southeast on our busy roads with terrible surfaces, it's a nice thing to ride. Well done, Yamaha. So let me know in the comments below what you make of the R9. If there's anything in particular you want to know, stick a comment down. I'll try and answer it either there or in a future video on the bike. Anything you think I've missed or anything you'd like to know about the bike, do ask me below. As I say, I'll try and get back to you. But for now, that's it for my first ride review on the R9. It rides nice. It's got a nice feel to the bike. It's not as uncomfortable as it looks. It sounds great, it stops and goes really well, and looks good. And it's not a bad price either, at just a smidge over 12 grand. What more do you want? Well done, Yamaha. Alright, until next time, this has been the Mr. Flyer. Cheerio.